Hey there, Gratitude Gang, I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about how you can create mindful moments in your speech therapy settings. Now, I'm a preschool speech-language pathologist. I'm definitely coming from a lens of early intervention, pediatric speech therapy, and some early elementary school ages as well. But all of these things can be adapted into whatever age or population that you work with. The first thing to remember, though, about being mindful in your speech therapy sessions is something you're probably already doing as a speech-language pathologist. It's just to be. Be there, be present with your clients. Be a listener, right? That's what we do. We're listening to them all day long, and we're doing something really powerful there in just building that connection, building that presence into our speech therapy sessions. When you're being present, you're creating a space for feelings. You're creating a time where you can help develop some of that emotional awareness that is so key to communication and that connection, right? That we're building with our little ones. When you're listening to them, when you're making time to be there with them, you're including that mindfulness throughout your session. So keep doing it. And there are other ways you can incorporate mindfulness into your sessions. Maybe you take 5 minutes at the beginning or at the end or in the middle, or you weave things in throughout. But I'm gonna go through all of those point by point. The first thing I like to do and always recommend is make time just for a breathing space. Sometimes during a session, I feel myself getting amped up. And sometimes I find myself in this very situation when I have 2 to 3 little ones in the group, and they might be asking for different toys. There might be some attention drifting, and there's a lot of really good energy. And I know as an adult, and I'm sure as little ones, we do feel that kind of amp up of the energy, and sometimes that makes us feel anxious and overwhelmed. And so sometimes in my sessions, we will just stop and I'll say, it's time to take a breath. Something I like to do for the breath is a very visual thing. We blow up a balloon. So we might blow in, oh, and already I feel calmer. And we might do that 3 times. We might do that 5 times. And sometimes I'll ask them, how many times should we blow up our balloon? Again, this might just be something we stop whatever we're doing and I say, let's take space for breathing, or whatever it is that you want to say that's, appropriate for your group. We might lay on the floor and feel our bellies rise and go back in just like they were a balloon. I also love using my little expandable ball. This one's really fun because the kids can use it and it's so tactile and hands-on. So we might, take in our breath and go out, right? Super fun. You can find this on Amazon. It's actually linked below for you. And I think that is something that is so important to start teaching at a young age. I wish I had learned this when I was little, just that whenever we do feel anxious, we can always come back to our breathing. I know when I have studied meditation, and now even in my morning meditations that are guided, there's always that reminder, if you feel overwhelmed or if you get distracted during the meditation, come back to the breath. It's such a grounding thing to be able to feel yourself breathing. So to take that time in a speech session, maybe starting out the session that way, is always a great thing to do to get everybody kind of present and grounded. Another thing that I will do every once in a while with my students, and this also works for following direction goals, is to incorporate some sort of stretching or body movement. Maybe we call it yoga, maybe we call it stretches, however you want to think about it. But this is really a fun activity to do. A couple years ago in the Target dollar section, I found these really cool little, it's like a floor puzzle, a foam floor puzzle. And so there's different yoga poses. I don't know if you can see. They might get to pick their color if they're turned around, and then we look at the pose and we all have to do it. And it's really fun, and the kids love to see the grown-ups do it and fall on our faces. So, that's fun too. But they do it to the best of their ability. It's not like a true yoga session or anything, but it's just to bring in that presence again, it's a slow down kind of activity. It gets us mindful about where our body is in the room and kind of helps us be present in the environment and also get some wiggles out that way. It's great, I love it. Something else that I love to do with my students, I actually created handouts based on my children's journal for them to be able to do this, is to take time to draw about their feelings, or maybe draw about what makes them happy and brings them joy. And so I'll get a blank piece of paper, or I'll get the one with my prompt out on it, which is free below. And it's just, there's some great ways to incorporate that mindfulness when you allow a child to just freely draw. They can pick their own colors. Maybe you'll find some stuff out about how that child is feeling as they draw. They could write about it too. I'm just coming from a preschool lens. So obviously my students are drawing and, doing lots of paint and colors and all those things, but it's a great way to incorporate that mindfulness as well. And sometimes those activities can take 5, 10, however long you want to make them. You can also target goals in those kinds of things as well. And kids love to be creative and artistic, so it's always a good thing to do. Lastly, something that I noticed my preschool teachers doing a couple of years ago, positive affirmations. They have this affirmation that they do at the beginning of every day where they say, I am kind, I am smart, I am brave, I make good choices, I'm a good friend, today is a great day. And I love that. The kids are starting their day every day with those positive affirmations. And throughout the day, the teachers can reinforce them and remind them of those things. You're being a good friend right now, you're being kind, and all of those really great positive ways we can be pouring back into our students are built into the very beginning of their day at circle time. I love using, my friend Rachel actually created some affirmation cards for kids. I didn't bring them because I didn't think to bring them home, but in my classroom, I keep them on a ring. I have them linked below. You can find them. They're super adorable. I let my kids pick whichever monster they want me to read to them that day. And when they pick it, I read it and they repeat it. And then maybe we do that at the beginning of the session. And then I'll also make sure I end the session to remind them of what their affirmation was for that day. Of course, those are just some very quick, easy, simple things and ways to incorporate mindfulness into your sessions. If you have any more that you want to share, please pop them in the comments below. I would love to see them. Also, I want ideas too, and everybody can read them, so it's super helpful. If you have any questions and you would like me to go deeper into any one of these items in another video, feel free to let me know. I would love to do that. Everything I showed you today is linked below. Comment, like, subscribe, you know the drill. And as always, get out there and say thanks more. I'll see you on the next one.